Okay, so, Bendy in the Dark Revival. It's a great game, like a really good game. And here's what I have to say. Oh, yeah, and spoilers ahead. Actually, if you're watching this video, technically you want to see spoilers, right? Oh, wait, actually... Okay, whatever. This game improved on the first game, Bendy and Link Machine, by a lot. And when I say that, I mean a lot. There's less bugs, and there's better graphics, and the gameplay is just yes. There are also some new abilities that you can get. These include Banish, Flow, and Fast Travel. Banish is the first ability that you gain, which you gain in Chapter 1. It's basically like a sneak attack insta-kill kind of ability, where basically you can sneak up on an enemy by crouching, and if you interact with them by pressing E, your character will do this thing where they use their left hand and they play this cool animation, which makes the enemy that you use the ability on just disappear. Kind of like using an eraser on a drawing. No pun intended. Then there's Flow, which is a very simple ability that you get from a lost one named Porter in Chapter 2. It gives you the ability to dash. And that's all there is. And then the last is the Fast Travel ability, which you get from another lost one named Heidi after you play a game of hide and seek with her in Chapter 4. Basically, there's these things scattered around the map that look kind of like fountains. Interacting with them makes your character jump in and then come out the other side. Basically the pipes in Mario, but Bendy. There's a few new mechanics that were added, like looting, which is exactly how it sounds. Basically, after killing an enemy, they ragdoll, and you can interact with the ragdoll to get gent parts, and gent batteries, and slugs. Slugs are basically just coins that can be spent on healing and other stuff, because you don't heal naturally anymore. Instead, there's food items around the map that can be eaten to regenerate health. And another thing that was added are these ink capsule things that you can use to upgrade your character's stats, like maximum health and stamina, which is good because you'll need it later on in the game. There's also Ink Bendy's mechanic, which, because he's a lot more powerful, you can't just run from him. Instead, the game gives you a prompt that says that Ink Bendy is coming, and you need to hide. If you stay out in the open or don't enter a hiding spot, Ink Bendy kills you. There's also the gent pipes mechanics, that being that it could be upgraded and charged and a bunch of other cool stuff. There's likely other mechanics that I didn't mention, so if there's any that I missed, say it in the comments. Now for the story. I'm just going to say a version of what I know in the game. Lots of spoilers ahead. Starting with Chapter 1. Right. You play as a person named Audrey, the daughter of Joey Drew, and while working at her desk she goes to get coffee, but while going through the elevator a guy named Wilson goes on the elevator as well, and then leads her to this room with the ink machine, I guess, and it starts working after she gets some of the stuff needed to turn it on. Wilson then proceeds to put Audrey and himself into the cartoon studio, where the game really starts. Audrey does stuff to progress, meets Alice and Angel, who informs you about all the dangers and stuff of the studio. Audrey also gets her first weapon, a gent pipe, which is a weapon that appeared in the first game but wasn't as important as it is in Bendy and the Dark Revival. You can upgrade it, and it has this sort of electricity sort of thing that allows it to open doors that require a fully charged gent pipe. Audrey eventually steps into a room full of ink, where a bunch of faces appear and give her the Banish ability. Then, after some gameplay and stuff, Audrey finds him. Smol Bendy. He's basically just a cartoon version of Bendy, the friendly one, but he's actually alive. However, Audrey's Banish ability does activate and hurt Smol Bendy, and then he runs away. Sad. Then Ink Bendy speaks to Audrey. Yes, he gets an actual voice in this game, and eventually finds her, and proceeds to attempt to commit murder. Plus, you see what Ink Bendy looks like in Bendy and the Dark Revival. He looks way more detailed and scary than in Bendy and the Ink Machine. Plus, all this stuff happened in Chapter 1. The amount of content in the first chapter is actually really cool, especially considering how in Bendy and the Ink Machine there was like 5 minutes of gameplay in the first chapter. Anyway, on to the rest of the game. So then there's Chapter 2, where there's a whole lot more Bendy in it. So more game progression happens, and there's like this guy who wants him to bring him who wants you to bring him some drawings you made so you could progress. And this is a quick quest that also involves ink bendy because, yes. Eventually, you meet Porter, who gives you the flow ability, and then more game progression happens. There's also the 4th Butcher Gang member, Slicer, who appears in this chapter, and that's all I know about Chapter 2. Now there's Chapter 3. Chapter 3, unlike in Bendy and the Ink Machine, isn't completely filled with fetch quests. Basically, Audrey goes to an elevator before some keepers, these things that basically have the same mechanic as the projectionists, breaks the elevator and sends Audrey into a room with a bunch of these spider-looking things called widows. This is the first boss battle in Bendy and the Dark Revival, which for some reason has one of the most intense music tracks in the whole game. Like, seriously, what? Alright, well, so basically she fights a swarm of widows, but then a giant widow comes out of this hole in the center of the arena, and then she has to fight that. After that, there's more game progression, and then Joey Drew. Well, not exactly the real Joey Drew, just an inky recreation of Joey Drew, who talks about the cycle and stuff like that. Plus, there's a mini-boss, I guess. Is it really a mini-boss? Which is this lost one, who's titled Lord Amok. I think he's like a king or something, I don't know. He fights Audrey and he gets slapped. Audrey then gets crowned to be the new Lord Amok for defeating the old one. After that, Audrey finds Smol Bendy and Smol Bendy forgives her for accidentally hurting him. Now Chapter 4. Audrey and Smol Bendy go through the city arena and team up to try and enter the gent facility. And when Audrey enters one of the buildings in the city containing the ID card, they need to enter the gent facility. Right before picking up the ID card, Audrey finds Joey Drew again, and he tells Audrey about her past, that being that the real Joey Drew was not really a good guy, creating this cycle using the ink machine, blaming everyone but himself for stuff like that. He met a person named Allison Pendle, I think that's what her last name was, and then he changed. He created Allison Angel, who was put in the studio to help his ink recreation of Henry, the guy you play as in Bendy and the Ink Machine, and also later decided, hey, I kind of want a family. So he turned ink into a human named Audrey Drew, that being the Audrey you play as. Audrey refuses to believe this, and then the more gameplay stuff happens after the cutscene. Plus, Smol Bendy just leaves, I guess, I don't know. But he returns, because right before Audrey enters the gent building, Ink Bendy comes and tries to commit murder again. But then these pillar things trap Ink Bendy into the Smol Bendy form. After entering the building, some keepers come and are like, we have a few questions, and then attempt to commit murder because they think that Audrey is too dangerous. Then, Audrey escapes and meets Heidi, and after playing hide-and-seek with her, Audrey gains the ability to fast travel. Plus, Heidi opens a door to this prison-like area with lots of Easter eggs, like, wait, hold on. Oh my god, is that Samuel Lawrence? Anyway, Audrey finds, oh my god, is that Henry, the main character from Bendy and the Ink Machine? No way! Anyway, Henry explains how to defeat Ink Bendy, and stuff like why he was put in the prison area, which was for being a cycle breaker, someone who resets the cycle. Great explanation there. After some gameplay stuff and cutscenes, Audrey is caught by a keeper and is brought to Wilson. Chapter 5. The Dark Revival. That's what the chapter is called. Anyway, on to the story of Chapter 5. Wilson tells Audrey about his plan to destroy Ink Bendy, and then brings her to this hotel-like place where Audrey meets Betty. After completing some sort of recipe and then drinking 3 cups of water and... No way, Twisted Alice from Bendy and the Ink Machine is in this game too, no way. Anyway, Twisted Alice in this game seriously lives up to her name. She literally just makes a riddle and she doesn't want Audrey to solve it because she wants her dead. Yeah. Okay, so Audrey solves the puzzle, and that just makes Twisted Alice mad. Audrey leaves, thinking she's safe until Twisted Alice comes out with a Tommy gun. Alright, who gave Alice a gun? Okay, well, you have to do this full-on Twisted Alice boss fight, where you have to reach her and dodge her bullets. So you solve a bunch of puzzles to reach Twisted Alice. Once you reach her, you try to use the banish ability on her, but you fail. Audrey kicks Twisted Alice off the balcony, but Audrey falls as well and ends up getting nearly killed by Twisted Alice before. Twisted Alice literally has the same cause of death as in Bendy and the Ink Machine. Getting stabbed by Allison's sword. You also get to see Tom, who is a Boris the Wolf-like companion to Allison, and oh my god, no way, you can pet Tom, this is literally the best game. Anyway, Audrey then goes to Wilson, and Wilson reveals his plan. Use Audrey as a vessel for his creation that would be more powerful than Ink Bendy himself, but Audrey proceeds to pull out an Uno reverse card, making Wilson the vessel for his creation called Ship Ahoy Dudley. Then there's the final boss of Bendy and the Dark Revival, that being the corrupted Ship Ahoy Dudley, also known as Ship Ahoy Wilson. Here's how the fight works. Phase 1. Your goal is to charge your gent pipe and make sure Ship Ahoy uses his attacks to break these things that cover up the stuff you need to activate that trigger phase 2. Once again, great explanation. Activate all 3 of them, and phase 2 starts. Phase 2. Ship Ahoy Dudley will now start moving around, allowing you to attack him when he isn't using any attacks or his weapon. A ship anchor connected to a chain gets stuck in the ground. But the thing is, Ship Ahoy isn't the thing you're trying to hit. Ship Ahoy will sometimes do an attack where he spins his anchor in the air, and he gets tired after that, allowing you to hit the real target, Wilson. Wilson is basically like inside the torso of Ship Ahoy, and you have to hit him enough until it plays a cutscene where Audrey uses the banish ability on Wilson, but then Ship Ahoy is still alive and it rips off Audrey's legs because, I don't know. But then Ink Bendy comes out and is like, I'm the one who's supposed to commit murder, not you, and proceeds to kill Ship Ahoy. After the fight, Ink Bendy then proceeds to literally fuse with Audrey, turning him into his final form from Chapter 5 of Bendy and the Ink Machine, Beast Bendy. But Bendy proceeds to do a huge mistake when he kills Joey Drew, and he pays the price. Audrey takes control of Bendy and takes the end reel with her. Then the most epic sequence in the entire game happens, where you get to play as Beast Bendy, the final form of Bendy. You smash through doors, and Bendy calls all the enemies to try to destroy Audrey. The game pulls off a hat in time, and all the friends Audrey made come to help her destroy Bendy once and for all. Henry then opens the last door, and Audrey puts the end reel inside a projector, turns it on, and points it at herself. Well, technically she points it at Bendy since she's in control of Bendy, but that doesn't matter because Ink Bendy dies at the end. 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 Then it goes to the real world again, and Audrey says that she would make the cycle much more bearable for the people in the cycle. Then, hold on, wait. Joey's world is escaping into ours. Wait, hold on, no. No way. No way. No way. Smol Bendy in the real world. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so in conclusion, Bendy and the Dark Revival was actually a very good game, and definitely one of the best. I know, a simple conclusion even after all that, but I don't know what to say. Subscribe for Ink Bendy will consume you.